Look at these matchups. They're so pretty. Monday, Tuesday, GRONK day. Four-time Super Bowl champ Rob Gronkowski here to get you set for the divisional round. And all eyes are on Lamar and Josh Allen and that MVP. Are we underreacting to what the Bills' defense did to the Broncos on Sunday? We haven't talked enough Bills on this program. We're going to rectify that today. And I'm just jonesing for a Bills player to join the action. Join the action this week. So hopefully we'll get that cooking. That's on my wish list. We've got Super Bowl odds. We've got odds changer. We've got so much fun on FanDuel Sportsbook. Let's get to it. Inching closer to the divisional round. So many in, so many out, so many what have yous. I'm Kay Adams. Hopefully you guys are watching in one of the billion ways to watch the show if you can find it. We love that you're here. We love that you're on YouTube giving us some comments with what you guys want to talk about. What would you like to ask Rob Gronkowski? Let us know. Do I know where Davante Adams is going? Davante Adams is a Jet, people. I don't know what all this hoop. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Davante Adams, New York Jet. Bunch of storylines. A bunch of lines moving, by the way. We've got movement in the lines. Let's take a look here. Number one seeds on both sides, favored by a point more than they were yesterday. The Texans, 8.5-point underdogs at KC. Lions, 9.5-point favorites over the Commanders. Then on Sunday, the Eagles favored by 5.5 over the Rams yesterday. So that's moved to 6.5. The only spread that is staying where it is the one that changed yesterday. Look at this one. The Ravens still 1.5-point favorites. Hamilton, I got to tell you. And by the way, the odds to win the Super Bowl have shifted over the past couple of days as well. Lions and Chiefs still 1 and 2. Eagles jumping Buffalo and Baltimore. Philly has the third best odds at plus 420. And I don't know. After that, Hamilton, it's long shot territory.
Yeah, it really is. The Rams, of those three long shots, the Rams getting the best odds. The Commanders after that. It's interesting to see how big that gap is between Houston and everybody else, the plus 4,400. That is a wide margin between them and the Commanders.
Plus 4,400 is crazy. Do you think Nick Caserio enjoys that we think that he could win the Royal Rumble of all the GMs to get the number one draft pick?
Oh, I'm sure he does. Being at Texans camp too, seeing him in the back of the end zone watching practice, you got to be fearless to do that. I don't think he's not gonna be afraid of anybody out there.
I have it on good authority. He is a WWE fan.
Oh, yeah?
He enjoys it. I don't think he's watching it because he's planning and trying to do what he can for this great game between the Texans and the Chiefs. I'm very excited about it. I didn't get the. You know that I thought that a Royal Rumble. I thought it was a Royal Rumble, not the Royal Rumble. Like there's only like one a year. Is that true?
I think so, yeah.
So I thought it was like when you call a power play in hockey, like, you know, when you go for two on an NFL field, like it happens a bunch. Like you just sort of call like it's time for, I thought it truly was something that happened organically. Like, oh snap, he's fighting him. It's a Royal Rumble. Like I thought it was just almost like a noun, but like not a proper noun in the way that this is like what determines the fate of the rest of this year?
The fate of the universe.
The fate of the universe. But I enjoy it. I wish I had known about the Royal Rumble rules sooner. But yeah, it happened. It's going on in the NFL as well between Saturday and Sunday action that you just saw. Is this going to be the best weekend of football of the year?
I think so. It should be. Usually, you know, wild card weekend is good, but divisional round is where things kind of step up. And obviously that Bills-Ravens game is just going to be unbelievable.
Well, you read my mind because I had this thought yesterday that we don't talk Bills enough. Like, we really have not. We got to talk a little more Bills. I'm jonesing for a Bills player. I think we're going to have one.
It sounds like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got you, Bills fans. We got to talk to Deion Dawkins. I got to get him back in the mix here. Miss him. So happy for him. He was pulling the guy. Best teammate ever. Better be in the wedding party with Josh Allen. I know he has a blood brother. Who cares? We want Deion Dawkins to be in the mix there. But I do want to talk about underreactions, and we're going to start with the Bills. It's Wednesday. We do this every week. Which storylines need a little love, whether it's a player or a coach, whatever's going on. What we saw from the Bills defense needs to be talked about. Okay, there were some lingering questions on that side of the ball going into Sunday, but things were about as good as it gets against a Broncos offense that was, in fact, top 10. After the Broncos' opening touchdown drive, the Bills did not give an inch. Denver ran 37 plays from that point on, didn't score a point, picked up just 154 yards on offense. Greg Rousseau and Matt Milano, they were all over smothering the rookie Bo Nix. The DBs didn't let Bo get any easy ones either. The Broncos averaged 32.6 points per game over the last 8 weeks of the regular season. As you see, Bills just completely grounded the entire thing. I don't do this a lot, but we're gonna go back-to-back full screens. Let's do it. I wanna show you why this is such a big deal. The Bills played 5 playoff teams in the regular season. They played the Lions, they played the Chiefs, the Rams, the Texans, the Ravens. They allowed 33 points, guys, on over 400 yards per game in those battles. Sunday was a marked, massive improvement. It was the Bizarro Vikings, okay? They were better. It's what Buffalo needed heading into this one against a Ravens team, frankly, that makes it look easy. I will say, Josh is on another level, but Lamar, makes it look easy. He's somebody who, Hamilton, when I'm watching some of these games, and there's a playoff thing that needs to be done and handled with both of these quarterbacks, which is why it's so interesting and compelling. If we look at the human aspect in the playoff, and we're talking to Davante Adams, why is it so different? Why is it so different in the playoffs? Why do some people shrivel? Why do some people shine? That'll be super interesting. When I watch Lamar in these games, I legit am like, can we challenge him? Do we need to throw, when you're sitting, we all have this kid in class who is smarter than everybody and gets bored. And almost that's what he reminds me of at this point in the game. Is that crazy?
With the way this offense is clicking, it took a little bit for them to fully kind of get up to speed with Derrick Henry and everything that comes with that. But with the way this offense is clicking, it has looked easy. I'm actually going to do a little Hammer Time breakdown later in the week on that too, and take a look at just the Lamar Derrick Henry duo and why that is so hard to stop. And Todd Monken doing an awesome job scheming everything up as well. But yeah, it is going to be a tall order on Sunday for Buffalo for sure.
Stressful game.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it.
Oh, yeah.
Bills fans are you were talking about us, and then you started talking about how great Lamar is. Well, both sides are great. You got to get over it. And speaking of these Ravens, and you're going to do this Hammer Time on this duo, Derrick Henry was amazing. Star of the show. It's probably why Lamar's I'm good. I got this guy. We're underreacting, though, to Lamar and the passing game because Zay Flowers is a big deal. I feel like we're not giving that enough credit. The question of how is he going to do this without him? He had over 1,000 yards. He had 116 targets. He was a volume machine. What's going to happen here? Well, what happened was everybody else stepped the F up on Saturday. Lamar, 8th game this year with 130-plus passer rating, 6 of 8 on third down, throwing strikes to Rashad Bateman, Isaiah Likely. We put Likely on your map, people. We told you he'd go off. Even Anthony Miller with 3 huge catches. Bears fans, yes, that Anthony Miller. He had 1 NFL catch in the last 3 years. And then all of a sudden, big plays, big moments, here he is. Truly amazing. And I just want to make sure that we see the Derrick Henry, we love the Derrick Henry, but we're not losing the Anthony Millers of it all, okay? Will we see Zay back at it in Buffalo? Let's take a listen to John Harbaugh.
Yeah, that's in we'll see mode. He's working hard to get back, and we'll see toward the end of the week if he's practicing, and he could play without practicing for sure if he feels healthy enough and if it's safe for him.
We'll see. I'm hoping he's out there. Lamar's line for passing yards, by the way, at FanDuel Sportsbook is 225.5 right now. Have some fun. Get your bets in over there. I have a feeling that moves throughout the week as we learn about Zay Flowers' 116 target status for this one. Finally, everybody was focused on Justin Herbert and Derek Stingley and the interceptions and Ladd's record-setting day. Are we collectively underreacting to Nico Collins and what he did in that win over the Chargers? I say yes. And really just what an incredible season he's having. And really just what an incredible decision it was by Nick Caserio to pay this man. He had 7 catches for 122 yards and a score. No other Texans receiver had more than 34 yards on the day. He's so fun to watch. He played running back. He's hard to tackle. He'll run through people. He is no fun for a defense. No fun. And he's fast too. At that size, it's crazy. man, just don't let the ball get in his hands, because look at that. It's taking 6 dudes to take him down. These highlights are so fun. He's one of my favorite players to watch. He's not going down. So he's a running back, people. He's one of those, like, wide receivers that has an identity crisis. He missed 5 games, okay? He had a hamstring injury. So I think that's sort of taking away from how amazing he is. Only Jamar Chase, as you're seeing, and Justin Jefferson, the 2 best receivers in the game, only they have averaged more yards per game at the receiver spot than Nico this year. I was at that game against the Chiefs. I was screaming, improve Nico's Madden rating. What are we doing? He's the 3rd best receiver. 12 games, just 12 games, which is really more like 11 because he sat most of week 18, which is meaningless. He's still at 1,000 yards. He's still at 7 touchdowns. He's also averaging 95 yards per game in 3 career playoff games. He's an absolute star. And if they're going to pull up the upset in Kansas City, he, mark my words, will be a huge reason why. And his line, by the way, what is it, Hamilton? His line for receiving? One of my favorite players to watch, Mr. Running Back, who trots around like a wide receiver.
2.5 yards. That's actually up. It was 80.5 yesterday. It's up to 82.5 this morning. Probably after the odds makers heard your case.
I'm a sharp. I think I move. I don't even know what that means, if that's like an appropriate thing to say. Is that a good, that's something, I don't know. I actually texted Hamilton because I was tweeting that I'm a sharp. And I was like, am I gonna get in trouble for saying this? Because I'm clearly not. And like, do people know what sharps are? And like, what, I don't know anything about it. All I know is I'm a big deal. With my parlays, and did he take over with props? Did Gronk win Prop-A-Shot last week? I will not be happy. I don't know. Hamilton will be back. We will welcome 4-time Super Bowl champion Rob Gronkowski to the show. Are you gonna go play for the Packers too? Oh man, Hamilton, you know it's a big deal when I hear from my brother-in-law. Obviously, born and raised in Appleton, Wisconsin. He just texted me. Green Bay Nation going crazy after your Davante conversation yesterday.
Xavier McKinney's getting involved.
Wait, he just sent me a tweet from Cheese. We love Cheesehead TV. Yeah. And it says, it's a Google search. Look at that. It's a Google search of Packers general manager, and look what it's, look who shows up.
Oh boy. There you are.
Sorry, Goody. Goody's going to be like, get this girl out of here. Do you see that McKinney tweeted, come on down?
Yeah.
The worst part is, then so it's like, I didn't say, I'm not doing anything. I'm doing nothing. Davante's not doing anything either. Like I said, he is a New York Jet, people. What are we what are we talking about here? He's a New York Jet. He just, he obviously has such a kinship for his Packers. We talked to him about how must that feel, that the Packers fans love you so much. Like, it doesn't really happen that often that a superstar will leave. It didn't happen with the Raiders. There's like very little understanding there about him, and that's everybody's got their opinion on everything, but that Packers fans are just like, come to mama, let's get you back here. I think it's special. I think that relationship is special.
It really is, and even though you didn't do anything here, you are responsible for Xavier McKinney being in Green Bay, and if he brings Davante over, then
I don't like that.
Transitive
if Davante goes to the Packers, I did it, but I'm not to be blamed. I'm not to be blamed for any sort of like bartering. I don't know what the rules are. There's ins and outs and what have yous, like the Big Lebowski. I want nothing to. I'm just right now. I just want everyone to be happy.
You're just a conscientious objector. I'm just a fan.
Yeah. We talked about the Packers yesterday because it was the only game Davante Adams watched from Wild Card Weekend. Yeah. Now, it's interesting that that's the only game Davante Adams watched over the weekend. Yeah. But if you look at, he has a post, he told us that he was celebrating his beautiful and lovely wife's birthday. And he put up a post on Instagram, and I've seen like literally screen videos of all the comments are just Packers fans. Just come home. And it's kind of, I really mean it when I just want him to be happy. And like that, even though I don't think he really looks at it, I think that's got to make him happy he deserves to feel that way. I like it.
Yeah, and he should, for everything he gave to that organization. And
he should have it all. We get the bag. We're living in Vegas. Now let's go get a ring, Green Bay. Ooh.
The old world tight end, 6'7" free. himself a block. Beautifully done.
I just threw him into the NBC camera.
My next guest, a four-time Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Famer, host of the Dudes on Dudes podcast, and analyst for Fox NFL Sunday, coming to us from like a cabin vibe, Gronkster?
Yes, Kay. I am in the Rocky Mountains right now in Colorado.
Okay.
And let me tell you, I'm actually currently at 11,000 feet up in the air.
Oh.
And last night I was trying to sleep and I was just trying to catch my breath because the air is so thin here. But it's going to help me out in the long run because it's going to build up my red blood cells. And then therefore, I'm going to have more stamina to last on your show.
Let's go. We love it. Are you a skier? I can't imagine being your height and even getting on a ski lift. I'd be absolutely terrified.
Well, my favorite thing about it here is I put the whole ski mask on and goggles, so I get to go around and not anyone recognizes me. So I just roll around like I'm just a normal dude. But there's always one person out there like, that's Gronk on the hills. Look at him go. I could just tell by just how he's moving. So there's always a super fan out there, which is really cool. But I'm a big skier. I've been skiing since I've been a kid, and I'm definitely always the biggest out there on the mountain whenever I go out.
Who else could it be?
There's a lot of basketball players around here.
Okay.
You know, the Denver Nuggets, they're about an hour and a half away. So there's, typically a couple, NBA ballers that are 6'10" out there on the slopes. So
are you
could
in
possibly
Aspen?
be one of
You're
them.
in Aspen, aren't you?
No.
Right.
No, that's too bougie. Aspen's really bougie. I actually never been to Aspen before, but my friend always says, "Oh, that's bougie." So I've been to Breckenridge before. I've been to a lot of them. Breckenridge is like the blue collar, mountain where, like a guy like myself from Buffalo would go to. Then Vail is kind of like more, more bougie, but it's not like Aspen. It's a little more high end than Breckenridge. So I usually bounce back and forth between Breckenridge and Vail. I just never been to Aspen. I feel like my people are Vail, Breckenridge's.
Yeah. Are you telling me that you've never been to Big Sky with Tom Brady? Get out of here with your I don't do bougie
I never
stuff.
had. He's too bougie for me, too. Tom's too big time for me. I never been to Big Sky with him. I'm going to bring him to Breckenridge, though, where all the blue-collar, people go skiing.
We'll see when pigs fly. Will Tom Brady be going down a slope in Breckenridge? Okay, let's talk about this. You know who else would be easy to spot? Any other tight end in the NFL. And we had a massive touchdown from Dallas Goedert. We're going to get into Wild Card Weekend recap, looking ahead at the throwdown round this weekend. Dallas Goedert, huge score. Let's take a listen to the mic'd up Goedert after the win against the Packers.
He catches a simple flare pattern out into the flat, and the cornerback is there, and he just beast modes him, pushes him in the face, not once, twice, and into the end zone. That's Dallas Goedert. Beast.
You a beast, baby. Necessary for sure. This one? That one? Oh, why not? I slowed down so you can come and get some.
Did you ever slow up like that to get a defender a little extra?
I slowed down so we can come and get some. I love that quote by Dallas Goedert. And what's so cool about that touchdown as well, I actually jumped off my seat when he scored that because I was in a pool with my friends, and I took Dallas Goedert to score the first touchdown of the game. And someone else scored the first touchdown of the game, but it didn't count. It rolled because no one chose that player to score the touchdown, so it rolled over, and then Dallas Goedert scored that one, so I won that pool right there with my friends. But I never actually slowed down to stiff arm a guy. I'm typically never a lot faster than another player, so I never want to take that chance. But there was a time where I caught a pass kind of like right off the line of scrimmage. It was a play designed for myself. It was versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, right here. And I'm running as fast as I possibly could. I'm not slowing down at all, and I just absolutely stiff-arm the safety and just toss him to the ground.
That's Ron Parker.
Yes, Ron Parker. We used to battle back in the day.
You retired him after this. This was his last year in the league.
But I want to talk about this play right here.
Okay.
So I talked about Josh McDaniels, that Mike Vrabel should give Josh McDaniels a call and hire him as the offensive coordinator. Well, Josh McDaniels was the one responsible for that play right there. He saw how the Kansas City Chiefs were playing, throughout the year. And it was kind of my down year that year. I wasn't typically running as fast as I possibly could, prior to the years before. So Josh McDaniels drew up that play where the offensive tackle, he takes my guy right off the line of scrimmage because you're allowed to hit a guy that's defending me within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage. So Trent Brown destroyed my guy one-on-one coverage, and then Tom just dumped it to me right there. So it was very creative by Josh McDaniels, and that's why I was talking about him on air last week with Fox to hire him as the OC, because I think he's one of the best ones out there on the market. And what he did for New England, he's going to continue that success as well if he gets hired. It would be cool to see.
All I want for New England is to have somebody that gets the best out of Drake Maye. Why is McDaniels the right one for Drake?
Yes, I truly believe he would be the right one for Drake Maye. I mean, he dealt with Tom Brady throughout his whole entire career. I mean, he was in and out. You know,
yeah,
when he went
had
to Denver
deal
as
with
the head
Tom
coach.
Brady.
But he did. He helped out Tom Brady tremendously. Josh McDaniels has a full grasp of the offense. He knows how to demand respect as an offensive coordinator. He gets the players to listen to him. He draws up wonderful schemes to get his players open. He knows how to get, you know, his skilled players in mismatches versus the defensive backs and linebackers. So Josh McDaniels is the guy. He knows how to develop quarterbacks, and not just quarterbacks. He knows how to develop players, just like myself. You know, he definitely helped out me throughout my career, but especially at the quarterback position, that's where he's a masterpiece, and I believe he would take Drake Maye to a whole nother level. But obviously, it's up to Coach Vrabel to bring in his offensive coordinator that he feels comfortable with. But from my perspective of just dealing with Josh McDaniels, I would love to see him there. I feel like he belongs in New England. He always loved New England. He loves the fans there. He loves the geography in New England as well. So that's why I just see that as the perfect hire.
What is that thing in the back left? What is that?
Where at?
That thing. What is that?
Oh, that's like a race car game where it's actually double two players, where you sit down and what are those called? It's an arcade game.
I don't know. I just wish I was you. That is unbelievably cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Race simulator. So I'm actually at my friend's house. He has the Pac-Man Pixels Bash game right there. He's got the Avengers Infinity Quest pinball machine. And then that's the race King Kong of Skull Island race car simulator machine right there. So
I don't know why. I'm sorry I didn't know. I should have known the answer to that. Hamilton just sent me this stat about Josh McDaniels that he, in his last year as offensive coordinator, he had a rookie in Mac Jones, and it was the 6th highest scoring offense in the NFL with Mac Jones. Drake Maye, the brighter prospects, maybe he'll be able to step in. It's a great vote of confidence from Gronk. You know how that place works. You know what's going on, to see if him and Vrabes could get it done. We mentioned the Eagles and the Dallas Goedert of it all. Can you poke a hole in that team for me? Is there anything? I'm trying to think. People aren't picking the Eagles to go all the way to the Super Bowl again, and I'm just... Is it just because the Lions are better? I feel like the questions are the same with both teams. What's wrong with what are your thoughts on the Eagles?
Well, I mean, you know, they had a solid game versus the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
They took care of business, but I don't think that they were invincible when they played the Packers last week. I feel like they're going to have to play a complete game. I mean, Jalen Hurts only threw for under 150 yards. I think it was around 130, 140. And in order to win championships, you got to be able to play a complete game at all times. And their passing game didn't look so great. I feel like A.J. Brown's going to have to get more involved into the offense as well. You know, big time. He's going to have to go off eventually, either this game coming up or if they win this game the week after. But they got to get those wide receivers going if they want to, you know, win. I mean, it's just how it is in the NFL. You got to be able to have a complete offense.
They didn't need to. They get to play at home again. They have the LA Rams coming in. Can't they just run with Saquon?
I think, of course, you run with Saquon. That's what you got to, you know, start off with. But you got to be able to counter that after, you know, in a play action pass or after you hand the ball off 6 times in a row to Saquon. And with LA, I mean, they're a shootout team. They can go down the field and score at any time. And that's what Philadelphia needs to be able to do as well. Yes, Saquon Barkley is always going to be the #1 guy. And that's what you're always going to be, you know, looking towards to make your first call on 1st and 2nd down. But you need to be able to keep Jalen Hurts out of 3rd and long. And that's what Saquon Barkley does. But just overall, they got to get that pass game going, especially versus a team like the Rams. And their defense, you got to give them credit. They showed out like no other for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be a good one.
Hurts has been hurt. He had a concussion. His last full game as a starter, they take on the Steelers. He had close to 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. I just feel like they've shown that when they need to, they can get the pass game going. I'm trying to figure out, like, why don't we collectively, why aren't we all like not just you, not me, like, why aren't we all like, yeah, the Eagles are going to roll over the Rams, they're going to give the Lions hell, and they're going to go take on the Chiefs on the other side, or the Bills, or the Ravens. Like, is it like a lack of trust in, I'm not asking you, but like, is it like Jalen Hurts has something to prove? The guy who put up 500 yards in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs? Is it because they fell off last year and nobody still has an answer why? Like, why are we is it a Sirianni thing? Like, why don't we don't question Goff like that? Goff runs the ball too. I'm wondering what the like hesitation is to go full Eagles.
You know, that's a good question,
Yeah.
Kay, and I really don't have the answer. I mean, I would probably say, you know, the Detroit Lions are a favorable team. Everyone loves the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
I don't care who you talk to, if it's a 70-year-old, if it's a kid, they're all in for the Detroit Lions. They're just like the most liked team. The Philadelphia Eagles aren't the most liked team. I can tell you that right now. When I talk to my friends, when I talk to a fan, you know, yes, Philly fans love the Eagles, but when you talk to the guys outside of Philly, oh man, they absolutely hate the Eagles. So therefore, they're coming up with any excuse to take down the Eagles, why they're not going to win. And I feel like that's why everyone's on the bandwagon for Detroit, because everyone loves Detroit. So they're finding reasons why Detroit's going to win, and they don't want to bash them. Philly, on the opposite hand, a lot of people don't like the Eagles out there.
I think you might be right. I literally think that might just be it, because you can ask questions about the same kind of Goff, like they have these offenses, like you've got Dan Campbell who's going to like lose at the gambling table because he goes for it every time. Like there's questions there, like Sirianni, and like but it might just be literally the likability of these teams. So I just got to say the Eagles obviously they took a Super Bowl from you too, Gronk. So I kind of, there's got to be some of that. There's got to be some of that in there. Okay, let's move on here to the Commanders sticking in the NFC here. They're 9.5-point underdogs to these world-beloved 70-year-olds, 10-year-olds, all love the Lions. That's the biggest line of the weekend, though, okay? You're seeing it right there on FanDuel Sportsbook. This is a Fox game. I know you're deep into this. How can the Commanders knock off the Lions on Saturday? How could they do it?
I mean, Jaden Daniels is going to have to come out and he's going to have to play, a phenomenal game and not make any mistakes and not turn the ball over. For the Washington Commanders to beat the Lions, they got to play mistake-free football as well and got to be firing on all cylinders. And this game, I feel like, is going to come down to their offensive coordinator as well, Cliff Kingsbury, what he calls, what type of game plan that he draws up, what positions and situations he put Jaden Daniel in. And what's so great about Jaden Daniel as a rookie, he's answering, these calls. He's answering these situations, which is pretty impressive. He went on the road and beat a veteran in Baker Mayfield and a lot of veterans on that team on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So you got to tip your hat off to the Washington Commanders. I just don't think they have enough firepower to go into Detroit and win this game, but I think they're going to do some damage. It's going to be competitive, but Detroit overall, they just have too much firepower on the offensive side of the ball. They can score 40-plus points on any given game, and the Washington Commanders' defense isn't so great. They're going to have to somehow get like a special teams touchdown or like a pick six to the end zone to keep that momentum building for the Commanders if they want any chance at all to win this game.
So you are picking?
I'm definitely picking the Detroit Lions to win this game.
Yeah. Were you sad to see Baker and them go home? He was so sad on the sideline. Your old team, they got knocked out by a 24-year-old rookie.
I was sad. I was heartbroken. I was actually hanging out with Julian, and Julian's going through the evacuation right now, so because of all the fires. So I went over to his friend's house that he was just chilling at, and we were watching the game. And just to see that kick, I mean, I was like, oh, it's wide right, and then boom, it hit the post and then went in. I mean, it was sad. It was heartbreaking. My dad and my brother were at the game. I haven't actually talked to them about it, what it was like to be there when that happened. But I feel for those guys. I feel for that organization. They put their heart and soul into it, and they're all good people in the Tampa Bay Bucs organization, and that's why I felt for them big time and was heartbroken for them when that happens. They put the work in.
Same. Let's get to the steak here, okay? You day on the slopes, you have your après-ski, you have your French fries, then you want your steak for dinner after a long day on those slopes, and that is the Ravens and the Bills. The Ravens, they're favored on the road, Gronk.
I mean, well, the Baltimore Ravens already took down the Buffalo Bills by about 3 hefty touchdowns earlier this year, and the Baltimore Ravens took care of business versus Pittsburgh pretty bad. But same with the Buffalo Bills. But since the Baltimore Ravens did beat the Buffalo Bills, that's why I feel like they're favored in this situation, So, and they got Derrick Henry, who's just an absolute freak of nature, and with Lamar Jackson, who's just performing just through the roof right now. So it's understandable. Those lines mean absolutely nothing to a player, though, once the game starts. You actually, as a player, you don't even look at the lines. I probably never even knew who was favored in probably 95% of the games that I played, unless if a friend told me, hey, you guys are the underdog this week. And I'm like, cool, dude, I don't even care. So it's all about who plays better, this Sunday coming up. And this is definitely the game of the week that I'm most interested in as well.
What decides the game? Do the quarterbacks kind of cancel each other out? How does a Gronk look at this game and what it comes down to?
I'm really looking at Derrick Henry. I feel like he's going to be the decision maker here. And if you look back at some of the games for Baltimore, when they lose the game, Derrick Henry really isn't a factor in the games. They get away from handing him the ball. They go to the passing offense more, and he has like only 60, 70 yards on the games that they lose and no touchdowns. So Derrick Henry, to me, is the key factor, because if he gets the ball and he's running for first downs and explosive plays, it's so hard to stop the Baltimore Ravens, at any given time, because they can hand it off, or Lamar can just pass it down to one of his tight ends that he has. He's got 2 great ones that he can throw to, a couple, baller receivers. So if they're rolling with the run game, it's hard to stop Baltimore.
It's hard to ask you to pick this one, and it is close. Ravens favored by 1.5 on FanDuel Sportsbook. Gronk, who wins?
Oh, man. Well, I've been telling everyone I got the Buffalo Bills going to the Super Bowl. They'll face the Detroit Lions. And I'm from Buffalo. They're so excited there. Even my family members who were big fans of me and cheered for me, even though they always cheered against me when we played Buffalo. That's how much you love Buffalo when you're from Buffalo, that even your family members will cheer against you when you're playing Buffalo. So I'm going to go with the Bills. It would just be great for the city of Buffalo, and it'd be great for the fans there. And I would love to see that as well, because it brings so much happiness and passion to my friends and family members and just people in Buffalo. And it would be great to see, and it would be good for the city of Buffalo. So I'm going with Bills.
Okay, you're going with the Bills. I want you to know, I was very quiet in the morning meeting. I was distracted, so I wasn't paying much attention. Chris, who I know reaches out to Sam and your team on, like, what do you want to talk about, anything you want to get in there, whatever. They want me to do this next question. I had no idea it was coming, but they want to show you. And I think this is kind of mean to do. A man's allowed to change his mind. September 4th, this is what you said as your prediction for the AFC Championship. This is kind of mean, guys.
All right,
I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens, and they're going to show why tomorrow night when they beat the Kansas City Chiefs with a big load behind Derrick Henry, getting 20-plus carries.
Well, I said they're going to be in the AFC Championship game, which I could still be correct. And the reason why I did pick them just now was because it was versus my hometown team, the Buffalo Bills. So that's why. Okay. So that's why. So no matter what in this situation, since I picked my hometown team, the Buffalo Bills, I'm going to be right, because I picked the Baltimore Ravens at the beginning of the year, and now I just picked the Buffalo Bills to win. So I'm going to be right no matter what. I think that's what
we want to know. I think the point that Chris wants to make, not me, is that you have really covered your bases, and you do something that I do, which is I'm just going to pick everybody somewhere. And then everyone can be mad and everyone can be happy. A few days later, you picked, this is after this, you came on our show to do this, you actually picked the Chiefs to win the AFC. And then over the weekend, you told Forbes that the Bills will win the AFC. So what the F, Gronk? Pick the winner.
Well, I've talked to so many outlets. I do so many different interviews, and there's so many different fan bases for all these interviews that no one knows that I'm picking all these different teams because everyone just zones in on their source of information. So really out there, I'm a genius. And then when one of them wins it, throughout the year, because no one's going back. You're the first person, Kay, that's going back.
Actually, your
team in there in the front office
I didn't at all. I think
is going back and checking my facts that I've been saying and checking my notes I've been saying all year, which it's kind of messed up.
Hamilton,
that's messed up. I'm on your side,
Hamilton,
guys.
I'd like you to be the face of this this production outfit. You are the chief editor here, Hamilton. I did not.
Hey,
I didn't
Hamilton,
say.
brutal.
I said nothing during the meeting. I think it's mean. This has nothing. What was the thought behind your doing this to your boy Gronk? What was the purpose?
I mean, listen, like Gronk said, he's covering all his bases. We thought it was a smart,
Oh.
clever thing for him to do. He's covering everything.
Okay. No, we need.
And Hamilton.
Yeah.
At least the top 3 teams I did pick, they're all still playing and they're all still vying for that. So that just shows that I know that these 3 teams are legit and they're both up for they're all up for grabs to win. And whoever just plays that given day is the better team.
Well, why
just
didn't you
know
pick
the
the
top 3
Texans?
teams. That's how good I am.
didn't see you pick the Texans anywhere. What's your problem, Gronk? Spread
No, the Texans,
love.
they're not going to win it.
Why?
They're a good team. They've been too inconsistent all year. They've been up and down. What's the quarterback's name again?
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, CJ Stroud. He's been having he had a decent year, but when you're that inconsistent and you go into the playoffs, it eventually shows, at one given point in time throughout the playoffs. So I think they're going to get exposed either this week and versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
On a serious note, I know Bills Ravens is too hard. It's a terrible spot to put you in, and I like that you went with what I like for my family. A great answer. If you're in like a panic room and you have to answer this question to get out, and it has to be the right answer, you have to say who wins the AFC. Which one team are you picking?
All right.
Definitive.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Really?
Yeah, I picked them at the beginning of the year, September 4th, 2024. You heard it.
You're
and now I'm going to stick with them, Kay.
But do you really believe that? I'm really looking for that. Like, you think they're going to get past the Chiefs?
I think they're finally going to do it with the Baltimore Ravens, with how they played last week versus Steelers, a rival team, in their division. They took care of business. They made them look silly. I think they're going to finally pull it off. Lamar Jackson has to get over that hump, and it's like year 5 of trying to get over that hump for him. He's got to be able to do it, and if this isn't the year, then I don't think he's ever going to do it.
It's fair. I really thought you were going to say Chiefs.
Okay, now don't make me change my answer again.
Don't worry, you've done that. We've done that enough. I absolutely love it. It's so funny. The Cowboys and Mike McCarthy. Well, let's get to this. They part ways. Troy Aikman is amazing on Fox. He said he's not sure being the head coach, and he was on Fox. Now he's on ESPN. So he comes out there and he says that he doesn't think that job in Dallas is a coveted job. Should the top candidates out there want to coach the Cowboys?
100%. They should want to coach the Cowboys. I mean, it's America's team. It's a chance to be able to be a head coach as well in the NFL. And if you love the game of football and that was always your dream, is to go out and, lead football players out onto the field and, come up with game plans and be a head coach, then that's a coveted job. I understand, but, with why he's saying that, because they don't really have a plan right now. They don't really know what direction they're going to go to. But you got to be a head coach to walk into that situation, though, knowing that you're about to take charge and knowing that you're about to, be a leader and you're about to, basically be a general, and you got to know that you're going to be a general, and you got to know that you can go in there and be a boss as well if you want to be able to, have success with the Dallas Cowboys.
You know Deion Sanders. You work with Deion Sanders. You've covered him. You live in the same circle in the NFL among the greats. Do you think he wants it? Do you think he wants to be an NFL coach? Is that part of the plan?
He would be a good one to go to Dallas because, like I said, like Troy Aikman kind of said it, they don't really have a plan right now. They don't really have a direction. But Deion Sanders is a guy that will go in there and say, this is the direction we're going. This is what we're going to do. And that's what the Dallas Cowboys need. And that's what kind of Jerry Jones needs at this point in time. He needs a coach that comes in there and takes over and controls all the business that's going down out there on the football side of everything. So I think, Deion would be a great fit for that reason because he would take control. But I think he likes being in the college, atmosphere, the college world. I think he's just seeing what it tastes like to be able to get an interview or be able to talk to Jerry Jones about the head coaching position. But eventually I think he's going to stay in college, and I'm sure Colorado is going to give him a big bump in pay as well.
Would it surprise you if Bill came out, totally left college and was like, Cowboys job? I'm in.
It would surprise me right now because he just accepted the head coaching gig at the University of North Carolina. But in 2 years or so, I wouldn't be surprised that he went back, goes back to the NFL. I feel like that's where his heart is. I mean, I truly do feel like Coach Belichick belongs in the NFL. I mean, he's been there his whole career, but I can't see him just going to UNC to be a head coach and then leaving 6 weeks later.
I don't know. There's a lot of things that have gone on with Bill Belichick over the last year that I wouldn't believe until I saw
but
it.
Kate, he did that with the New York Jets, so never mind.
I know. You never know. Get a paper napkin and a 22-year-old girlfriend, and you never know what's going to happen.
You're right. He may be the Dallas Cowboys head coach in 2 days. You never know.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Albert Breer had this to say. We're going to take a break after this one. Ben Johnson, OC of the most likable team in the NFL, Lions. He's only going to take 3 interviews for head coaching jobs. But Tom Brady, through I don't even know, like some wizardry, or he sent a raven, or who knows, he convinced him to interview with the Raiders on Friday. What is behind that? What is Tom Brady's aura to be able to pull that kind of a thing?
Well, I feel like that he's probably a big fan of Ben Johnson, just the way that he's being able to just take the Lions offense to a whole nother level and stepping it up, to a whole nother pedigree, even with the defense going down, because that's what you got to do as a great offense and the great offensive coordinator is make up for all the injuries that's happening. And that's what he's been doing. And, when you can adjust to situations like that, that intrigues Tom Brady, because that's what he was doing his whole entire life. He was adjusting to situations, players going down on the defensive side of the ball and offensive side of the ball, and getting the next guy involved. And that's exactly like how Ben Johnson is handling the Detroit Lions and all their situations, throughout the whole entire year.
Yeah, but this is a big deal, Gronk. It's about Tom. Like, Tom's this, figure now where how much, it's like the question is, how much pull does he have? It's this recruiting vibe of man, you know him. Being around him is I'm intimidated by him. I'm like, ugh. But you know him in and out. How attractive is he? But his pull is impressive, and I think it's a huge deal for the Raiders. It's a huge deal for the NFL.
It is. Well, Tom Brady's pull is that effective and it's that intriguing because he has the it factor. And the reason why he has the it factor is because he puts the work in as well. It's not like he was recruiting a player to come play with him.
Right.
And because he's a great player and then he's going to just sit back and relax and let that guy do all the magic. No, he's actually going to outwork that player that's coming in.
100%.
And that's what makes Tom Brady so intriguing is because, hey, I'm going to be with another star. I'm going to be with a guy that just recruited me to come be the head coach.
He's a winner.
As ownership, and he's going to help me win because he wants to win, because Tom Brady's a winner, and whoever's around him, he's going to help, amplify their game, amplify their coaching skills, whatever it is, and that's what makes Tom Brady so intriguing, as a person.
Has he ever convinced you to do anything?
100%. When we're out there, when I was in off season and I was out in LA, Tom Brady used to always throw at UCLA football fields. And I went out there about 2 times. And what Tom Brady always did, he always made you a better player and he always made you work harder. And I'm showing up off season, Kay, I'm just chilling.
Oh, I know.
He's making me do 2-minute drill within the next 20 minutes. We're out there on the field.
God.
He's convincing me to get right back to the line of scrimmage and hurry up and run another route.
You're throwing
Tom, it's off season. You're giving me 15 seconds in between every route. I'm about to puke out here, but he's actually going full speed with me as well and leading by example, so you have to do it.
I remember a time seeing you guys at something that was 4th of July. Remember that outdoor club? It was 14 or something. Louis, what was it? Remember what I'm talking about? There was you would have to almost take a bus to get. Never mind. I saw you there. I remember one time, and it was in those years, and that you guys would be oh, Tom wants to practice on the beach tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and you guys would just somehow make that all work. That's insane. You guys were insane in those times. Insane.
When Tom texts you,
yeah.
And you're in the same city as him, and he texts you to throw the football. And run some routes, you drop everything that you're doing and you switch up your schedule because he just has that it factor. You just want to be around him because he has that winning attitude and it always elevates your game. And that's why you drop everything for a winner, because they help you out and they elevate you big time as well.
We'll take a short break here. We will be back with our Propa shot. I don't know how that quite is going, but we're going to talk more with Gronk, who's shot out of a cannon in 11,000 elevation this morning. 11,000 feet.
Racing. It's tough to breathe out here, but
I know,
it's good for me.
You're killing it. That's so fun. I do have hold on. We had one more question because this crazy thing happened that Chris wanted to ask you. The guy who grabbed Mookie Betts' glove. Okay,
Yes.
what's his name?
Yeah, Austin Cappuccino.
Okay, Austin
Capobianco.
Cappuccino. Sure, Austin Capobianco.
Capobianco.
So this is the latest. He's banned indefinitely from all Major League Baseball games. Is this fair? Too harsh?
I don't think he should really be banned, you know, but I think his buddy next to him should be banned because his buddy like kind of reached over and grabbed his wrist. When I talked to Austin, he said he gave me a text message back. I said, "Hey, congratulations! Like I like you didn't back down. Like you would say you would do that, and you would actually do it, and you did." And he wrote back, "Hey, Rob, thank you, man. Best buds for life, or whatever, all that good stuff." And then he goes, "What did I do wrong? Mookie put his glove on my lap. I was just trying to swat the ball away." And that was the truth. He was just swatting it away. So it's not like he reached over into the play or anything, but his buddy did. So I think his buddy should get suspended for life, but Austin, just maybe a year or so.
Austin needs a year. Let's change the sentencing. Here's the appeals process from Rob Gronkowski, and it's his friend that should be the fall guy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay,
you got to always have a fall guy.
That is the Chris Carter school of how to handle yourself in sports and life situations. We'll be right back.
I have a fall guy.
Do not bring Hamilton in because he wants to get in this conversation, but he has such an egregious take on it that I'm not. Hamilton, I don't want to see your face on camera.
I want to hear it. Come on,
no,
Hamilton.
Hamilton is Hamilton in the lowest, most disgusting moment of me and Hamilton, and Kat's laughing too. Go ahead, Ham. Whatever.
I was there that night, Gronk, and it was it got the stadium going. I'm just saying. I'm not excusing it. I'm not saying it was right. It was, you know, down 3-0 in the series. It brought some juice to the building. That's all I'm going to say. He shouldn't have done it.
I like that take right there, Hamilton. That's the truth right there.
Hamilton,
I like that take.
This is okay. I'm over this. But my favorite thing is that he's Cappuccino.
Yeah, Cappuccino.
Awesome Cappuccino.
Because he brings the juice. He got the stadium going.
I love
like
that you
coffee.
think. I love that you're like impressed that he sent you a text back. You're like, he texted me back. You're Gronkowski. Of course he's gonna freaking text you back. Like, I'm so surprised. Albert Cappuccino latte wrote back to me. All right, let's do this. Go ahead, Ham. Take it away.
All right, here we go. It's time for Prop a Shot. Let's update the scoreboard. You guys both had a really good week. Both went 2 for 3. So the margin between you guys stays at 3 points. It's still a 1-possession game. I know the competition, but hey, you guys are both handing out a lot of winners. You should be, you know, to the viewers this year, you should be proud.
I mean, yeah. Gronk's picking over, under. He's covering his bases on everything, probably, in some under the table deal with you, Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to go low here, okay? Come on, Gronk's doing an awesome job. We're gonna start with you here, though.
Okay.
We're doing just the Saturday games this week. So Texans Chiefs, the line for Patrick Mahomes passing yards against the Houston defense is set at 248.5. So, Kay, do you think he goes over or under that for Patrick?
Oh my gosh. I think Hollywood Brown is a big deal. And since he's gotten Hollywood Brown in the mix, he's like a 300-yard guy through the air, Mahomes is, and nobody's talking about it. He threw 260 against the Texans in this defense. Then now he's got Brown over, banging the over.
All right, Gronk, we're going to Travis Kelce from here. His line for receiving yards is 52.5. So does he go over or under that?
Well, Kay says Mahomes is throwing for over 248, so obviously he's got to get Travis Kelce involved then, so he's going to go over 52.5 yards, and this is when Travis Kelce steps up to the plate. He comes through in the big moments, especially in the playoffs. He's going over.
So we're canceling each other out on that one. We're both either going to win that one or lose that one, Hamilton. What do you got?
No, I'm hoping Mahomes goes under and Travis Kelce goes above now.
It could happen.
There you go. It could happen. All right, we're going to move to Commanders-Lions now, okay? The line for Jaden Daniels combined passing and rushing yards is 295.5. You hit on this in your parlay last week. Does Jaden go over or under that 295.5?
I can't go under. I got to go over because he's done that, like you said. It's not even just last week. He's done it in 2 of the last 3. This Lions defense, you can say what you want. They're feisty. They're great. We just had Kirby Joseph on, but they can get got a little bit through the air. So he's going to have to do everything to get this done. So passing and rushing, he's going to go over. He's going to run a lot.
All right, Gronk, over on the Lions side, we're hearing David Montgomery is probably going to be back for the Lions that game, but Jahmyr Gibbs' line for rushing yards is 80.5. Does Jahmyr go over or under that?
He's going to go over. That's all I got. He's going over, baby.
That's all you got.
That's all I got.
Gronk's thinking about like what kind of eggs he wants for breakfast. Like he's not. He's gone. Gronk's gone. But you did great. Gronk's been out for like 40 minutes. We're go ahead, Hamilton. What's the last one?
I'm hungry.
All right, okay. All right, okay. Let's pull up the full screen.
Gosh.
Okay, I want you to pick
gosh.
one anytime touchdown scorer from Chiefs Texans, either team.
Okay, you got one more coming up for you, Gronk. But I'm gonna go. Oh, man. It's all about the running back, so I'm going to keep it going. It's going to translate into the divisional round cream hunt. Pacheco's back, but this has been the goal line guy. They need him. Mixon's doing his thing on the other side. Time of possession is going to be big, but he's going to score. He scored in each of his last 2 games, by the way, so he scores again.
All right, Gronk, one anytime touchdown scorer from either team, Commanders, Lions.
I'm going with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay, let's recap.
All right, he absolutely
Patrick
dominated the regular
Mahomes.
season.
No, it's fine. You're good. I got Patrick Mahomes over 248.5. Jaden Daniels over 295.5. That's combined though, passing and rushing yards, and Kareem Hunt scoring a touchdown. Gronk has Travis Kelce over 52.5. Receiving yards, Jahmyr Gibbs over 80.5. Rushing, and Amon-Ra St. Brown to get in the end zone. You are the absolute best, Gronk. Go have some breakfast. Enjoy your time, and
I don't need
the
to
best.
explain my picks because I'm just that confident it's going to happen.
Yeah, or you'll go somewhere and say the opposite, and we'll read about it tomorrow. Thank you, Gronk.
I'm going skiing. Bye.
Enjoy. Oh, man. The idea of Gronk thinking he's like hidden on a hill is hilarious.
Yeah. Just because he has the sunglasses on and the helmet. Yeah.
I mean, just like that, you're gonna stand out anyway. And he always, I thought the same thing when he was like, oh, I wear this, when I go to the airport, I wear bad shoes and I wear different clothes and I hide. And I'm like, nobody doesn't know it's you, Gronk. It kind of sucks to be like a Gronk and Shaq. You know that I'm obsessed with that, how he can navigate the world.
Yeah.
Like he can
Somehow
never get in an elevator and not have to worry about like someone's gonna,
That's
and
true.
Gronk is so nice that I do think it's not like he's scary and imposing like The Rock. Not like that Gronk isn't, but he's so.
People
Not that The
feel
Rock
like
is
they
mean,
can-
but I do think like there's certain people like you're not gonna like jump on The Rock if you see him. You're gonna be like, but like Gronk, everyone like because he's so wonderful that like you think you can like touch him. I think, and it's like, no way.
Yeah, people feel he has a way of like people feel like they're his best friend without even knowing it.
I
because
know,
he's
it's exactly
just the way
right.
that he is. It's.
I didn't mean to just throw. I mean, The Rock's not like intimidating. You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah,
he's
no.
not like Penta
It's-
from WWE. You know.
The Rock's gonna come after you now. Yeah. Happening. Oh.
Mm-hmm. That's Hamilton. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do it without the solitary. I'd like to get all three in. Do love hearing Terry, but
Okay, cool.
we can just end it after.
I hope Chris is happy with
After
himself for just like exposing a
that
four-time
was
Super Bowl
phenomenal.
champion. I just threw all of you under the bus. I thought it was mean.
It was fun.
Mean. Gosh, he makes me laugh. I'm like crying. He makes me laugh so much.
Gronk. And Austin Cappuccino.
Let's do it. Time for some Atta boys. These are players and moments that deserve a little extra love for their performances on Wild Card Week. And how about Commanders receiver Terry McLaurin? Oh my goodness, how could you not be happy for him? I mean, I guess if you're the Bucs, you're not happy for him, but still, he brings and helps bring Hayden Jaden and the team, and Dan Quinn, and Cliff Kingsbury. They're taking Washington to the playoffs with a win in the first time in 20 years. That's what happened. They finally get the win under their belt. This gorgeous catch. This was so beautiful. It was a deep ball. The Commanders are rolling. Then you get the go-ahead that you just saw there, this touchdown on 4th and 2. In the fourth quarter, by the way, you could not get bigger than this. And he's so casual, and he's just tap-toeing around like he's great. And, yeah, it was a beautiful thing. Attaboy to Terry McLaurin. By the All-Pro, Terry McLaurin. 7 catches, 89 yards, and that score. Beautiful moments. That he deserves, that he's worked for, and that he's probably waited for his entire career. How about Eagles linebacker Oren Burks? Okay, he is the guy. If we watch and remember, look at these crowd going crazy. This is like the craziest thing. You're playing in traffic. It's Frogger. He forces the fumble on the opening kickoff. This gives Philly total control of the game from the jump. But this is the guy who also, Nakobe Dean's out, leaving the game. He comes in at linebacker, and he's getting it done. 5 tackles, forces a fumble, helps the Birds shut down the Packers offense. Why are we not talking about him more? Oren Burks, what craziness is this? What a big spot to have a big moment. A 3rd-round pick for the Packers, I believe, back in 2018. He's in Green Bay, knows them. It had to mean a lot to him. He was there for like 4 years. And now we're going to see a lot more of him, I think, against the Rams next weekend. Finally, James Cook. We're talking about Derrick Henry in this matchup. He's the X factor. Okay, I don't know, James Cook. Look what he did to a Broncos defense that's top 5. 23 carries, 120 yards, and a score. He's got speed, he's got power, all on display. Little help from Deion Dawkins. You love that. Deion Dawkins is going to help you. And this is the first 100-yard rusher the Bills have had in a playoff game in 30 years, and he deserves an attaboy for that. Thurman Thomas, by the way, the last Bills running back to do it. 158 yards against the Dolphins on Wild Card Weekend. Got to show that in 1995. Love the AstroTurf. Oh, my goodness. That's about 5 months before Josh Allen was even born. Okay? This is the run game we're talking about. Joe Brady, who should be getting more love in the coaching candidacy conversation, by the way, getting this done. James Cook, attaboy. We see you.